the strangers. Believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, beneath the pale moon. Loving's for the fools. Baby, beware of my bite. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a creeping through the shadows and the corners of your mind. I go the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering my name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a
Guys, as you can tell, it's raining. It's not just raining, it's pissing down. Anyway, and I don't have a co-host today. I don't know where he is. I haven't checked chat. Is he dead? Nah, he slept in. That's alright. Let's just jump straight into it, and if he turns up, obviously, he can jump in. Alright, guys, you ready for some liberal freakouts? So, some people freaking out over the Mueller report. People playing need to impeach Trump because of me feelings, I suppose. I don't know. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Alright, so. I'm still getting that error, aren't I? Alright, let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section. And apart from that, guys, obviously, let's just jump straight into it. Alright, now we should be back. Let's see if that's any better. Okay. Alright, let's jump into it and let's keep an eye on the lovely graph. So, Senate banners and other 2020 hopefuls ignore questions from reporters on the subject at a campaign stop in South Carolina. Makes Bernie Sanders kind of look a little bit more smarter than Elizabeth Warren, doesn't it? Hello, Joe Doe. How are you, buddy? Yeah, I would agree. If they run on this platform, they're going to get Trump re-elected for 2020, which I don't have a problem with. So, run on this platform, I suppose. See how it goes. Let me know. But yeah, I think that this is going to be, this is going to be bad for them. But let's jump into it. So, Senator Elizabeth Warren on Friday became the first Democratic president candidate to call on the House to begin impeachment of proceedings against Donald Trump. The severity of the misconduct demands the elected officials in both parties set aside political considerations, and do their constitutional duty, she tweeted. That means the House should immediate impeachment proceedings against the President of the United States. Okay, what crime did he commit? I don't know. Okay, why are we impeaching him? I don't know. It's basically the answer is going to be it's going to be like that. Look, at the end of the day, does this report look good for Trump? No, Trump comes off looking a bit like a hothead. Trump comes off and, he's obviously, he went through and he told staff members to fire Comey and we talked about firing Mueller and Rodstein and all these sort of guys, which would have been collusion. Or, not collusion, sorry, it would have been obstruction. So, he is a hothead. Oh my god, big freaking shock. Trump is a hothead. Who would have ever thought? Is my takeaway from this report. At the end of the day, the way that Trump comes off in this report is he comes off as a bit of a hothead, but at the moment, he's pro-America. I shouldn't say at the moment, but but the thing is that he's pro-America, he loves his country, and he's passionate. That's not necessarily a bad thing. And it also seems, as the report's gone on and the years progressed, he's gotten better at being less of a hothead. So it doesn't completely exonerate Trump, as in he doesn't coming out looking like a innocent person in this. He is a hothead, yes, but at the end of the day, there's no criminal, there's no crime, there's no impeach, there's nothing you can impeach him on. There's no collusion. The obstruction charges are far stretched, and we'll get into that in a sec. But at the end of the day, he's not completely exonerated. So everybody that's saying he is obviously a partisan hack. But at the end of the day, there's no crime. So it just comes off looking like a hothead. Whoop-de-doo. Who would have thought Trump, who you're fired, is a bit of a hothead? Jeez, my shock. At this point, Democrats are a threat to freedom in the USA. I would agree with that, yeah. I would actually agree with that, John. The way they want to take away your guns, your freedom of speech, and everything like that, they are a threat to freedom in the US, yes. Now, obviously, before Warren's comments or statements, another 2020 candidate, Senator Amy Klobuchar, I have no idea who this is, so obviously she's, one of the front runners. A member of the State Judiciary Committee told reporters that at a campaign stop in New Hampshire that the senators in the race seem to be choosing their words carefully on the issue. Mainly because they know it's a dead thing. They know this report's killed the impeachment. Even Nancy Pelosi has said as much. But anyway, I think you see the senators very cautious about talking about this because it would be the jury if it was any kind of action brought over from the House. I think you see senators are very cautious about talking about this because we would be the jury. Oh, okay. If there was yep. The key thing here was to have Special Counsel Robert Mueller before the Grand Jury Committee. So now they're talking about bringing Mueller in front of the committee. Like, Jesus Christ. A spokeswoman for the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, responded to Warren's calls, said, as a speaker has said repeatedly, one step at a time. We're focusing on gathering the full unredacted version of the report and its underlying documents, as well as hearing from Mueller, the spokeswoman said in a statement. The report raises more questions and concerns that we believe American people do deserve. To be honest, I don't think the American people care that much as they think they do. I think at the end of the day, the American people are sick of hearing about this Mueller report. Especially from the Democrats. To me, I would drop it. I know they've got to do it because their base is all wound up over it and, mainstream media, whose fault is that? But yeah, I would say that at the end of the day, the Democrats really should drop this because this is making them look completely bonkers. And yeah. So, but they won't. They will chomp through it. Tom Sayer, a billionaire Democrat donor who has a crusade to impeach Trump, called Warren one of the people in Washington who has the moral courage to do what's right. Okay, whatever. 8 million Americans are thanking her for the leadership and for taking a strong stance against this dangerous president. No rhetoric at all whatsoever. He said in a statement on Friday, Sawyer had flirted with President Run himself, but ruled it out in January, choosing instead to dedicate himself to the impeachment effort through his organization, Need to Impeach. So there's no obvious bias or anything whatsoever regarding this guy, right? It's not like he's running a campaign or an organization that is solely banking on the impeaching Trump idea. Because, other Democrat president candidates said Friday that Trump's conduct, as detailed in the redacted version of the report, made impeachment worth discussing, although one Senator Bernie Sanders ignored questions from reporters on the subject at a campaign stop in Greenville, South Carolina. Bernie Sanders is probably the smarter one out of everybody. But anyway. Executive Mark Leland, I might be mispronouncing. Obvious from day one there was no collusion. So Conservative radio and talk show host Mark Levin told Breitbart News Thursday that it had been obvious from the start the special counsel Mueller's investigation there had been no collusion between Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign and the Russian government, and that the inquiry was to be a pretext for impeachment, which is true. Lethan had been predicting for nearly 2 years the Mueller report would not find any bias to indict Trump, but he would produce a report that Democrats and the media would seize upon to argue for impeaching the president. In June 2017, Lethan said on his radio show, The Mark Lethan Show, that Mueller may be investigating individual and so forth, but his purpose for being unleashed against the President of the United States is to make the case for impeachment, not indictment. This is very, very important to understand, and he is absolutely right. The left have used Mueller in this as a scapegoat. They've used him as a reason to go after Trump. And that's all it is. This is all about getting rid of Trump. It's shell game. So what they've done is they've gone through and they don't care if Mueller actually found anything. As long as Mueller found enough for them to start raising questions and raising the possibility of impeachment. And that's all it was. So, yeah. But anyway. John Podesta, Mueller report lays out devastating case against Trump. Okay, what page? Like I said, Trump does not come off as an angel in this, but I tell you what, it's far from devastating. So, you want to get that derangement syndrome in check there, Podesta? Who, by the way, has a creepy obsession with pizza. Former campaign chairman for Hillary Clinton's failed 2016 presidential campaign. So, once again, no bias. John Podesta said Thursday that Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report lays out a devastating case against President Donald Trump. Okay, show me the page. In an opinion editorial, which means it's completely opinion-based and not based on fact, for the Washington Post, Podesta wrote the Mueller report stated that Trump campaign was aware of WikiLeaks document dump and emails that Russian intelligence associates stole from the Clinton campaign and the Democrat National Committee servers. What, you mean he read about them on WikiLeaks? This is the devastating case that you're talking about? What? As far as I know, the report doesn't say anything about Trump knowing about these leaks or knowing or being told by WikiLeaks what was going to be dropped. Not to any great detail anyway. So, yeah, what are you talking about, Podesta? The longtime Clintonian wrote, Mueller lays out a devastating case against the president, but explicitly says in the introduction to the obstruction section that given the Justice Department policy against indicting a sitting president, it would be unfair to draw the conclusion that seems obvious from the facts that follow, because Trump wouldn't be able to defend himself in a court of law. So this is where we're obviously going to start talking about the difference between Barr and Mueller. Barr and Mueller have a different opinion when it comes to, for example, impeaching Trump on obstruction charges or obstruction charges, whatever you want to call it. So at the end of the day, what Mueller thinks is that intent matters. Whether or not Trump intended to obstruct charges, obstruct the investigation. Barr seems to think that there has to actually be a crime. You have to actually follow through and do it. Now, the interesting thing is, obviously, when it came to Hillary Clinton, intent didn't matter? Or no, it did matter. Interesting. So, for example, when it comes to Hillary Clinton, whether she intended to break the law or not, well, that's a different matter. It's kind of like the reverse. It's really weird like that. But yeah, at the end of the day, as for, like I say, the difference between Hillary Clinton and Trump, Trump, for example, did not intend to obstruct justice. Not that we can see anyway. And every time he did it, it was pretty minor stuff. Him tweeting about things, like he tweeted about Manafort with the court case open or whatever it may be. Like, to be honest, yeah, like, you'd have a flat... I think you'd have a flat-out time getting in on obstruction of charges. I really do. And I think Robert Mueller knew this, which is why Mueller hasn't actually gone through and made the suggestion. So, Mueller is a prosecutor, right? He's not an investigator. Mueller had 4 choices when it comes to this report. Impeach Trump on obstruction of justice. Don't impeach Trump, or don't put charges down on Trump for obstruction of charges. Give the report to William Barr and let him decide. And find Trump not... no, there was another one I can't think of now, but anyway. The important thing is that Mueller could have decided Trump's fate when it comes to obstruction of charges. But he didn't. He then turned around, gave the report to William Barr, and said, you decide. To me, this sort of leads to the fact that Mueller knew these obstruction charges were pretty flimsy at the best. Because if he knew they were really bad, or if he knew he could get Trump on him, I think he would have. Considering Mueller is deep state, we know that. The whole 9/11 report sort of proves that point. But I was going to say, but yeah, considering, in my belief that Mueller is deep state, I think at the end of the day, he would have taken the opportunity to take down Trump. But he didn't. So why didn't he? Because he probably knew that these charges were flimsy at best, and he didn't want his name on the report. Because there's only one thing a leftist hates more than failing to take down Trump. And that's trying to take down Trump and still failing. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think he realised that the backlash would have been huge. So he canned it. He got rid of it. He passed the buck on to William Barr. So, yeah, to be honest, I don't think this report... Look, obviously, the left want to see what they want to see. The right's going to see what they want to see, and I'm going to be somewhere in the middle. Like I say, Trump does not come off as an angel in this report, but I tell you what, there's nothing on this report at all for indictments, obstruction charges, or anything. So, Trump, he mightn't be an angel, he might be a bit of a hothead, which we already guessed. Is obstruction of injustice a crime? Oh wait, yes it is. Ask Assange. Pisses me off the messenger is the only one who pays. That's true, Seven. Definitely true. But yeah, as for Trump, yeah, no. There's nothing they can run him. There's no charges they can file against him. So, and to be honest, I think Barr's view on obstruction charges is a lot more closer to the law than Robert Mueller's is. But, yeah. See what happens. Alright. Morning Joe says, Mueller report, a win for the Dems. How? On 2020 candidates to run on it. Yes, please do run on it. I want to see the Dems running on this report. I want to see them running on impeachment proceedings and claiming all sorts of wacky shit. Because at the end of the day, nothing will red pill Americans faster than how crazy the left is looking right now. So please do run on it, Dems. I really want to see how crazy you can get. Because the Americans will flee from you like God knows what. Yeah. So, but no. I think any Democrat that runs on this is a bad choice. I think that at the end of the day, Bernie Sanders is definitely smart when it comes to this report. Not running on this report. Sorry. Not running on this report. I think Bernie Sanders is very smart not doing that. Yeah. But we'll see. Okay, Jimmy Kimmel freaks out over Mueller report. Trump's exoneration means we are... Boop, boop, sort of thing. So, late night show comedian Jimmy Kimmel reacted to the release of the FBI Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report on Russia collusion on Thursday, suggesting that the fact it exonerated Trump of wrongdoing means the country is in deep trouble. Deep trouble for you guys, maybe. On Thursday morning, Attorney General William Barr released the full redacted version of the report, determining that the investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government and its election interfering activities. It was another remarkable day here in the United States, Kimmel begins in his nightly monologue. Before the report came out this morning, Trump's defense attorney, William Barr, held a very curious press conference which was clearly designed to put a positive spin on this not very positive report. I would actually agree with Kimmel there. It was a non-positive report for both people. Trump did come off looking like a hothead, like I've said many times. But that's not a crime. And, oh my God, who's shocked to find out that Trump is a bit of a hothead? Like, really. This Bill Barr did not know what his deal is, but he looks like if Elton John had conversion therapy and it worked. So we're cracking gay jokes again, aren't we? Wow, Jimmy Kimmel going with the gay jokes. The reason Donald Trump is still in the White House is because no one in the White House is listening to him, he continued, referring to the claims the White House counsel refused to fire Mueller at Trump's request, which is true. Trump apparently reportedly told them to fire Mueller, and it's a good thing that Trump didn't, because that would have been obstruction charges. There was a charge led by some of the conservative groups to fire Mueller. I'm wondering who was financing that operation. Because, I don't know, that's a little conspicuous to me. Maybe someone was paid opposition? I don't know. Deep state maybe? I don't know. We'll have to go back through and find out who was actually the people asking to fire Mueller. We'll have to stop looking at names. The reason Donald Trump is okay, that's fine. And he's right. He's absolutely right. If Trump had have fired Mueller back then, that would have been collusion. Obviously, we know that now. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's a good thing that the people in the White House didn't listen to Trump. It's a good thing at the end of the day that they went through and refused to act, because otherwise they would have got him on collusion or not collusion, sorry, they would have got him on obstruction. But Jimmy Kimmel was right. I hate to agree with him, but he was right. Brit Hume calls out Adam Schiff for saying Mueller didn't find Trump innocent. Fox News senior correspondent Bill Hume called out California Democrat Representative Adam Schiff for suggesting Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report released Thursday failed to exonerate President Donald Trump. Schiff said if the special counsel had found evidence exonerating the president, he would have said so. He did not. He left that issue to the Congress of the United States, and we need to consider it. So obviously at the end of the day, what Adam Schiff is trying to do here, he's trying to please his base, which obviously have Trump derangement syndrome. And he's saying, well, hey, look, we'll send it to council or to Congress and we'll see what they have to say. But they know it's not going to happen. They know at the end of the day that Trump will not be impeached. You have to get 3/4 of them to agree to impeach Trump. Not going to happen. And after that, I think then it has to go to the Senate, and it's never going to happen. And Nancy Pelosi and especially Schiff would know this. But I think that Schiff doesn't want to say that. Because at the end of the day, he knows he's going to take a lot of flack for it. So, yeah. Clapper, if active collusion wasn't proven, I think we have a case of passive collusion. Yep, you got that right. You heard that right. On Thursday's broadcast of CNN as AC360, National Security Analyst, former Director of National Intelligence, Lieutenant James Clapper, stated that if there wasn't active collusion proven, then I think they have a case for passive collusion, such as President Trump tweeting messages planted by Russia. Oh my God, stop. This is the same James Clapper, by the way, who lied to Congress regarding millions of Americans being surveyed. Like, this is the guy that he's literally in my channel intro video lying to Congress. So, yeah, who do you believe? You know? As someone that's been caught lying who now claims that... What was his latest claim? Oh, I didn't understand the question when they asked millions of people being spied upon. I thought we were talking about a different government spying technique or some shit. Or something he said. You know, at the end of the day... Yeah, sure. Slow Clapper. Yeah. Personally, I think Clapper's a deep state idiot, moron, whatever you want to call him. So, Rosie ODonnell, and a nice photo, by the way, and celebs react to mother's findings. This is going to be funny. Rosie ODonnell and many of President Donald Trump's definitely true. Rosie ODonnell and many of President Trump's other Hollywood critics reacted Thursday following the release of the Special Counsel Mueller report. The redacted version of the Mueller report continued that there was no collusion between Trump campaign and the Russian government to win the 2016 election, but the part of the report celebrities seemed to be interested in was when they noticed multiple examples involving the president that could be viewed as obstruction of justice, though the special counsel opted not to decide if the crime had been committed when it was his job because he didn't want to go putting his name on it. Duh. So Rosie said Trump is F-U-C-K-E-D, impeach Trump, hearing blah blah blah. John Lamagezzo, Trump on the first hearing of Mueller report. Oh my God, this is terrible. This is the end of his presidency. I'm effed. Which we've already talked about twice now. The reason this comment isn't collusion is because at the end of the day, he was actually talking about the fact that people have said previously that at the end of the day, if you get these special counsels, they hang over your head for a few years, they look bad for your presidency, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Trump was right. I just noticed there's a... No? Okay. Yeah, there's a bit of glue or something on my screen. Bottom line, the president tried to cheat in order to win the election and then repeatedly tried to end the investigation into his actions. I wish reporter would ask Barr if Mueller finished with his investigation unpleased or if it was anyone. Mueller had the chance to go through. Mueller had the chance to make a suggestion and he would choose not to. To me, this is just Trump derangement syndrome. Like, Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, like Tripp says, clown world. Unfortunately, it still keeps going, although not much actually. Mueller's report looks bad for Obama. This is interesting from CNN. The partisan warfare over the Mueller report will rage, but one thing cannot be denied. former President Barack Obama looks just plain bad. On his watch, the Russian meddling in our democracy while his administration did nothing about it. The Mueller report flatly states that Russia began interfering in American democracy in 2014. Over the next couple of years, the effort blossomed into a robust attempt to interfere in our 2016 presidential election. The Obama administration knew this was going on and did nothing. In 2016, Obama's National Security Advisor, Susan Rice, told her staff to stand down and knock it off as they drew up plans to strike back against the Russians, according to accounts from Michael Iskoff and David Korn in their book Russian Roulette. I think it actually looks worse for Obama because of, well, he used the Steele dossier to go through and to spy on Trump. That's the thing that's actually the most important thing. But obviously CNN won't admit that. How did Obama go through and get all these FISA warrants? Sorry, not Obama, sorry. Obama's DOJ and all that sort of stuff. More likely trip is he's saying in chat, well, it's desperate for ratings, so maybe they'll cover something truthful. It's more likely that they'd rather throw Obama under the bus for something like this than actually raise the question about him, for example, and whether or not he abused his power in office. So that would be, that would be what I think it's more about, is they don't, sort of divert people's attention away from something and start looking at this, and maybe they'll ignore this over here, sort of thing. It's, magician talk, sort of thing. Mitt Romney, I'm sickened by Trump's behavior in the Mueller report. So, Senator Mitt Romney on Friday declared he is sickened by the conduct of President Trump and his aides as described in the Special Counsel Mueller report. I'm sickened to the extent passive and dishonest and misdirect by individuals in the highest office of the land, including the President, Mitt Romney said in a statement shared to social media. It's like he's a Democrat. Oh, wait, he is. Like I say, at the end of the day, the report, it doesn't look good for Trump. Sure, Trump comes off as a hothead. We all know that. We already knew Trump was a hothead. His Twitter feed proves that. But at the end of the day, no collusion, no obstruction, no charges. But anyway. British Army veterans march on London and cities across the UK to protest prosecution of Soldier F, who faces murder trial over Bloody Sunday massacre. So, thousands of veterans demonstrated today in protest of Soldier F, who faces murder charges over the Bloody Sunday shootings. In March in central London, organised by Justice for Northern Ireland Veterans Group, is to voice the opinion of pending prosecution of Soldier F, which is the code name of the only serviceman set stand trial of the massacre, which took place in the height of trouble. Soldier F is one of 17 former members of the 1st Battalion Parachute Regiment who were investigated over the violence which left 13 people dead in Londonderry in 1972. The Crown Prosecutor Service announced last month that the man, whose identity has been protected, is to face prosecution for murder of James Ray and William McKenney. Critics of the prosecution have pointed out that roughly 200 IRA figures, though have been thought to have been behind a series of terrorist attacks during the Troubles, were so-called comfort letters, assuring them they were no longer suspects. So it's a case of going after your own troops to appease the IRA, I suppose. I don't know. Look, I don't know how I feel about this. I haven't done much research into this. I know this is something that Tommy Robinson has been talking about. It's on its base. It seems like it is kind of sickening. Look, they're dating back from something that's like 40 years ago. Are we really going to prosecute people for crimes 40 years ago? Especially when he's 1 out of 17? Especially when the IRA, 200 figures of the IRA are not being prosecuted for similar crimes. Seems like you're going after someone as a bit of a scapegoat or whatever it may be. Yeah, look, obviously I have a bit of a problem with that. If it was such a bad thing, then why aren't all 17 being charged? Why isn't the IRA charged? So, yeah. But, you know, hey, at least they got people out in the sun protesting, I suppose. Might be hope for the UK yet. But yeah, well, obviously I'll keep an eye on it, and I'll look into the Soldier F thing a little bit and see how it goes and what happens, and yeah. Viewers heartbroken after orangutan attacks digger in the new David Attenborough documentary. The horrendous footage was aired as part of Sir David's BBC show on climate change, The Facts, last night. As the digger approaches and begins ripping down a tree, the giant orangutan flies towards it and attempts to beat it away from ruining the forest. Eventually, after crushing its giant fist down upon the metal digger, it's forced to give up and climbs away, looking dejected. To make matters worse, the footage then shows some of the workers who are involved in cutting down the forest, shooing the great ape away, leaving it banished from its home forever. Aww. Obviously, Ladbroker's Lad Bible has gone full progressive at this point. Look, at the end of the day, obviously, as for David Attenborough and this, look, obviously, you know, no one likes cutting down forests and stuff like that. At least the orangutan wasn't hurt. I don't know how I feel about this. I really don't. I'd have to see the footage. I'm not going to watch it now because it's probably going to be a trigger warning. Look, this is where it gets... Look, I don't believe in climate change. No, I don't believe in man-made climate change, I should say. There's been enough scientists come out now that have debunked it for me to say, well, look, it's probably fake. That said, obviously, I do think that we obviously do need to take care of the environment. So... Look, yeah, I would say at the end of the day, yeah. But then we need to cut down some trees and stuff like that because we need wood. You know, we need furniture, we need stuff. So it depends on why they're there, why they're cutting down these trees and this forest and whatnot. Is it because of research development, like, for example, building furniture or whatnot? Or is it just because they're, you know, for example, I know there's a thing going through the Amazon right now where they're trying to pan gold. So depending on why it's happening, doesn't really say where it happened, does it? But anyway. Judge says US government can be sued for Flint water crisis. The judge says the federal government can be sued by Flint residents who blame the Environmental Protection Agency for waiting too long to intervene in the city's water crisis. Which is funny because it's a Democratic city. It's like the Democrats ruin their cities. Federal Judge Linda Park didn't determine whether the EPA employees were negligent when Flint's water system became contaminated with lead in 2014 and 2015. The decision at this stage is more narrow, with the judge saying Thursday that the government isn't immune to a lawsuit. Which is weird because 14-15 is when Obama was in power. So we had a Democratic government run by the Democratic president who seemingly had a whole bunch of lead in the Flint's water supply. And apparently Orange Man is bad? I hope they do sue. Yeah, me too, Squirrel. Go after Obama. Well, we have sustained sustainability for snow for building. Well, we have sustainable for snow for building. If it isn't the Amazon, it's probably not good. I think you meant if it is the Amazon, it's probably not good. I'm not quite sure there. I think you might be... Yeah. But anyway, the judge says that lies went on for months. The Associated Press sent an email to the EPA seeking comment on Friday. Interesting enough, like I say, it was Democratic at the top. President was Democrat. Country was the state was Democrat. So go for it, I suppose. I don't know. Obviously, I don't like the fact that there's lead in the water. My understanding is that this is not a government thing. That this is more of a corporation thing. My understanding was that the government changed corporations to control the water supply, and that's what caused the contamination to happen. It was this other company was doing a bad job. Rashid Tlaib calls on hunger strike to shut down ICE because that'll work. Representative Rashid Tlaib, Democrat from Michigan, urges her supporters to join her in a hunger strike to push for action to shut down U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, arguing the radical push to abolish ICE can't be achieved by Congress. Do you really think she's going to give up food? No, probably not. Sustainable forests. Sorry, voice to take that. That's okay. It's all good, man. Hearing a Detroit fundraiser, headlining a Detroit fundraiser in the past week for Michigan Coalition for Human Rights, complained of colleagues who are constantly politicizing what she says and lack willingness to embrace bold stance such as abolishing ICE. She called on her activist audience to join her in a hunger strike at the border. She's not going to go on a hunger strike. Okay, it's not going to happen. Okay, she's still going to go through and get her food and everything else. But at least if they starve to death, we know which ones are the crazy leftists, I suppose. I don't know. Rabbits deliberately infected with cholera in secret tests at universities. Oh, poor rabbits. In a run-up to Easter campaigners have highlighted the fate of animals that suffer and die behind the closed doors of research labs. They claim universities are failing to come clean about the out-of-date fertility testing on rabbits. Hi from Canada. I just got the notification. Hello, Shadow. How are you? This will be up on live, like on demand sort of thing later. So you've missed about 50 minutes of the show. So if you hang around now, just watch the first 50 minutes later. You'll probably be fine. We're up to 49 minutes and 55 seconds when you jumped in. Latest government figures show that 9,498 rabbits were used in the lab experiment in the UK in 2017. Disturbing details of some of the tests were obtained by the Animal Justice Project, AJP, for published research papers. They include rabbits suffering traumatic injuries in their eyes and arteries, being deliberately infected with cholera, and having test substances injected into their ears while imprisoned in stocks. Ah, poor rabbies. No worries. It's all good, Shadow. Sorry you didn't get the notification early, guys. But yeah. We're going to basically start at 9 my time every morning. I'm going to put out a tweet over the weekend that'll say what time the show starts. And we'll also go through and I'll convert it to the US. Eastern time, Pacific time, the UK time. I'll put up a list of times so you guys get to know. But yeah, poor rabbies. Emma Thompson, flies. It's early in the morning for me. Emma Thompson flies 5,400 miles to protest climate change. You and your maple syrup trip. So Dame Dame Emma Thompson has flown 5,400 miles to partake in the so-called Extinction Rebellion protest in London. The actress stars such as filmings as Saving Mr. Banks and The Nanny McPhee made the unusual decision to fly halfway across the world to join an environmental protest in the capital. Speaking to the protesters, Thompson said she couldn't attend from the beginning as she was celebrating her birthday. In a private jet, most likely, yeah. Yeah, I don't think she took the train. So, I was not here on April 15 because it was my husband because I was 60, said the actress, who has been labelled a champion socialist by critics. Champagne socialist. Which is fairly accurate. Like, she literally would not turn up because it was her birthday. She not only that, but most likely, like they said in chat, flew on a private plane. Like, the end of the day, you fly a private plane, what we presume is anyway, to an event to protest climate change. Tell me, Emma, how much did your plane use to get you here? RNE alert, 1,000 private planes deliver globalist elite to Davos for climate change summit, which is Breitbart's true. Absolutely true about that too. There was. Thousands of planes to deliver high-rolling people to talk about climate change. Like, a flight from LA International Airport to London Heathrow generates at least 1.67 tons of carbon dioxide, according to Mail Online. She literally put 1.6 tons of CO2 into the atmosphere because she wanted to go and virtual signal about saving the environment. Oh, the irony is not lost on anybody, I don't presume. Dame Emma clearly didn't see any hypocrisy in her actions as she took to the streets for the second time today, addressing protesters from a large pink boat and reading a poem called Mother Earth is Not Your something or other. Really? But apparently it's yours. You know, when you go putting 1.67 tons of carbon into the atmosphere so you can virtual signal. That's okay, Trip. It's all good. Sarah Sanders defends countless FBI agents' comments. It was in the heat of the moment. So, White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said Friday during an appearance on Good Morning America that her comments on the FBI agents' confidence loss over former FBI Director James Comey in 2017 was made in the heat of the moment. I think this is a no story, really. She said something hyperbole, or whatever you want to call it. I'm tired. Just don't mind me. But yeah, I think this is absolutely nothing bigger. I can't believe that they're having to drag this up against her. Of course, this is just because they want something to attack her on. Quick, get off the news cycle. Get off this old Mueller report. Let's find something else. Let's drag up something from 2017. Charisse Theron, my child was a boy until she looked at me when she knew through... What? Okay, sorry, start again. I'm tired. Charisse Theron, my child was a boy until she looked at me when she was 3 and said, I'm not a boy. I find this very hard to believe. I really, when I was 3, I had no idea of the concept of gender. And no offense, but I don't think it's your boy. At all. Hollywood actress Charlize Theron revealed that she's raising her adopted 7-year-old boy as a girl. Because, you know, brainwashing is apparently a thing. And though that she was a boy, Charlize Theron said until she looked at me and when she was 3 years old and said, I'm not a boy. I doubt that. I really, really doubt that. I really doubt a 3-year-old kid is going to look at you and say, I'm not a boy. Stop misgendering me, Mom. Right, sure. Yeah. Totally. To choose a life of risky medical treatment, solid exclusion and mental... Okay, that's their point. That's their... Yeah. James Wood's funny. This is sweet until your poor kid grows up, realizes what you've done, and stuffs both your something or other into a freezer in the garage. Yeah. Yeah, like at 3, I didn't even know what a penis was. So, let alone gender or anything like that. Like, this reminds me of this is amazing. Starts with D. That drag kid. Someone is amazing. I've got his name now. I'm tired. But yeah, at the end of the day, he hello Amy, how are you, hun? Yeah, at the end of the day, something is amazing. Denver is amazing. No, Dallas, something like that. It is. I can't remember now. Someone in chat will let me know. But yeah, this drag kid, right? He goes through, and apparently he's been watching this RuPaul drag race thing since he was 3, and apparently, according to his mum, this is something that he wanted to watch. I don't know about you guys, but when I was 3, I didn't even know what TV was. I just thought it was a magical thing that played cartoons. Desmond, that's it. I knew it started with D. Desmond is amazing. Apparently when he was 3, was watching drag racing show. Like, what kind of damage do you think that is doing to a kid? Holy shit, that's scary. And like the parents were like, oh no, he chose this. He chose this TV program. And it's like, yeah, no, probably not. Probably you put it on for him. And he probably got stuck watching it. And then probably wanted to watch it after that. But I imagine the mum was most likely watching the show when the kid was there. Or something along those lines. I don't think the kid sat there and said, when he was 3 years old, Mummy, I want to watch Drag Race show. Mummy, I want to watch RuPaul, whatever the Drag Race show's called. I really think the mother put the show on for the kid for at least the first few times. Well, Shadow says, when I was 3, I wanted to be a pony. Yeah, when I was 3, I wanted to be a wizard. Like Merlin wizard sort of thing. That's what I wanted. I wanted to grow up to be Merlin because I thought Merlin was cool. Yeah. But anyway. Sure shit wasn't growing up saying that I was not the right gender. Why is this not child abuse? It probably is. But if you go trying to make that case, you will be fired from the Child Protection Agency. Because you're racist, you're sexist, you're misogynist or whatever it may be. That they'll try and find. Amy says, hello Amy, how are you, hun? Shadow, it sure should be squirrel, which I would agree with. Special purpose. Amy says, holy weird again. Shadow says Desmond. That's what I was after. Yeah. Squirrel says hi. So Shadow isn't amazing. Should be Desmond is abused. Oof, that's quite a big claim. They did actually get the Child Protection Agency to look into this, and apparently they rule in favour of the parents. This goes to show how, some countries are cucked, I suppose, or at least some government agencies. The amazing Desmond is autistic. His mum and his ex-club kid groupie had him pose with a guy who was jailed for murder. Yeah. Also, they had Desmond is amazing on a strip show, in a strip club, sorry. He was performing on a strip stage. You know the clubs where you're supposed to be 18 to get in? Those ones? You would have thought that this would be enough to shut the show down or something, but no, apparently not. Oh God, not Charlize. Yeah, I know. She's hot too. Maybe she just needs a really, really good hard pounding. She's cute, but she's lost. We can only use her for breeding now. Macaulay Culkin played that creep. Which one? Desmond is amazing. Did he? I like Macaulay Culkin. What did Macaulay go? And Megan with fake belly. Now she wants to have non-gender kid. You mean Megan, the princess of the UK or whatever? Megan Kelly, Megan Kyle, whatever her name is. He probably said he was a kitty cat too. Yeah, probably. Saw him doing burlesque as men threw money at him. It was sick. Burlesque. Oh yes, he was. Yeah, as men threw money at him. It was sick. Imagine if the little girl was dancing to a strip club. Yeah, well, yeah, that's the point, isn't it? If it had been any other kid than a drag kid, holy shit, the people would have lost their shit. But special protected classes, I suppose. Merkel, yeah. Meghan Merkel, that's right. Club kid jailed for murdering his drug dealer in the 80s. Oh, played by Colin. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, cool. I haven't seen that Macaulay Culkin show, actually. But yeah. Ready to run. Joe Biden considering Charlottesville for 2020 campaign launch. Which makes sense, I suppose. It's heavy Democratic. Former Vice President Joe Biden is ready to run for president, according to The Atlantic, and is considering a launch in Charlottesville, Virginia. The Atlantic's Edward Lackdover reveals that Biden has made the decision to run, and the campaigning and waiting is debating on whether Biden should announce his campaign at the Philadelphia Museum of Art or the Rocky Steps or the challenge Trump directly and announcing it in Charlottesville, Virginia. Other possible announcements locations include his home in Delaware. I do have a bit of a problem with him doing it at Charlottesville because I feel like it's more about him trying to use the tragedy, but then, hey. It's called parenting. Okay, I'll check it out. The campaign launch video is expected to launch on Wednesday, which is next week, I presume. Yeah. The scandal surrounding his uncomfortable behavior with women did not stop him from running, the reports notes. So creepy Joe Biden's going. He's gonna go, guys. He's gonna do it. Oh boy. 2020 is going to be fun. Don't worry, we are going to be covering it all. On Thursday, Biden appeared with picketers at the Shop and Stop supermarket, but largely ignored as the establishment media focused on the release of the Mueller report instead. Aww. Creepy Joe wasn't able to go through and get his publicity. No, shit happens. Oh, Peppy Joe's been caught on camera telling a 13-year-old, wow, really? Amy, the Me Too females are currently in the same places where they were when we were talking about the Muslim who was burnt to death yesterday. They're currently ignoring the story. You know, the burqa woman, or the girl that was over in Bangladesh, I think it was, who was burnt to death because she made a claim of sexual abuse against her headmaster. Yeah, they ignored that one too, don't worry. And they ignore all this sort of stuff because it's uncomfortable. They don't want to talk about it. Because me agenda. And that's what it's about. It's about policies. It's about beliefs. It's about your side. It's the Me Too movement is nothing more than a weapon to take on Trump. That's all it is. Trump and other to dethrone males out of Hollywood and replace them with females. They must be hiding. Yeah, they are. Yeah, because we don't want to go criticizing any other culture, right? You know, especially when they burnt a woman to death, you know. God forbid. But anyway. Guys, that's probably the show today. It's only going to be a short one. There's not a lot of news. Unless there's something I am missing. Nothing's coming up on the aggregator, so I think we pretty much covered it all. But anyway, yeah, apart from that, guys, obviously, look, at the end of the day, look, yeah, obviously, we will have no show for the next 2 days, obviously, because it's the weekend, although I'll be doing the gaming thing, so obviously tune in for that, link in the description below. But yeah, apart from that, obviously, Satellite has also been doing a bit of gaming lately and streaming it as well, so check out Bernardo for the link in the description below regarding that. And obviously, guys, we'll be back on your Monday or our Tuesday. Oh, maybe not. I've got my car booked into a mechanic. I'm going to reschedule it, I think. I'm going to reschedule it for the week later. So, yeah, I will be here on your Monday, my Tuesday. Yes, there will be a show. Because I'll reschedule the car. Apart from that, guys, obviously, if you have any questions, any comments, feel free to smack us up in the comment section below. Thank you, everybody, who has joined the show for the day and who's joined for the week. Another exciting week that will be mulled over by talking heads. Yeah. Been fun. Stay well. Thanks, everybody. See you next time. Yeah, see you next week, bye. Yeah, well, guys, we'll see you early next week. And 9 a.m. my time on Tuesday. I'll put up the times on Twitter. I'm also going to put them up in the description below for this video, and from now on I'll pin it to the channel or something if I can. But apart from that, guys, thank you everybody who joined. Thank you everybody who stayed for the week or came for the week. And apart from that, guys, we will see you next week. Apart from that, enjoy. Have a great night. Thanks. Yeah, it's just going in for a transmission service. I'm going to try and reschedule it for next week. Maybe for the Monday my time, which is your Sunday, which is no show. So yeah, see if that happens. Apart from that, guys, have a great night. Enjoy, everybody. I will see you next week. Bye!